Okay, sometimes the most profound psychological insights come in the absolute smallest packages. Right? Today we're unpacking this concept called optimism and perspective and practice. And get this, it's a framework that is literally just 2 sentences long, yet it completely reshapes how we handle difficult situations. So let's just dive right into this explainer and reveal what's basically a masterclass in mental resilience.
To kick things off, let's think about this. Does true optimism really mean ignoring the bad? Think about how often we're told to just smile or, look on the bright side, as if slapping a mental band-aid on a massive problem, like your car completely breaking down on the highway, magically makes it disappear. That's a classic trap of toxic positivity. But as you'll see, the framework we're looking at today sets up a much more rigorous standard for what it actually means to be an optimistic person.
Which brings us to section 1, the positivity paradox. We're going to completely flip the script here. The directive starts with a super straightforward, familiar baseline. It just says, practice positive thinking. Now, that sounds like standard run-of-the-mill motivational advice, setting a positive mindset as the ultimate goal. But I really want you to notice that the word practice is an active pursuit. It requires a specific technique. It's not just some passive state you accidentally stumble into on a good day. But here is the unexpected twist, and it's a big one. Genuine positive thinking actually requires us to look into the dark. Seriously, it isn't about closing your eyes and pretending everything is perfect. Actually, scratch that, it's the exact opposite. Maintaining perspective is explicitly linked to staring directly at the very things that cause us the most anxiety. Let's move on to section 2, embracing the worst case. It's time to face the dark. So, the really crucial point here is how this framework explicitly defines keeping perspective. It is a totally deliberate combination of identifying the absolute worst case outcome right alongside a positive element. Perspective isn't just about zooming out. It's a very precise balancing act. Think of it like a cognitive equation, where you literally have to bring both the darkest possible variable and the lightest possible variable into the exact same room. If we isolate the exact phrasing used here, we are instructed to actively consider the worst-case outcome. Now, at first glance, I know that sounds totally counterintuitive to positive thinking. Why on earth would you intentionally map out a total disaster scenario? Well, because doing so completely changes the fundamental nature of our fear. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference between simply ignoring the negative versus what we call grounded perspective. Blind positivity is that really fragile state of just pretending bad things won't happen. Grounded perspective, however, absolutely forces us to acknowledge the worst while still holding onto that silver lining. True optimism firmly rejects the whole head-in-the-sand approach. It demands we ground our outlook in cold, hard reality. But you might be wondering, why go there at all? Because by actively defining the worst-case outcome, we literally put a strict boundary around our anxiety. When fear is vague, it feels infinite, right? It just spirals. But when you define the exact, precise worst-case scenario, your fear suddenly gets an edge. It has a definitive limit. And the second a problem has a limit, it becomes a problem you can actually manage. It's a real game changer. Okay, let's transition to section 3, finding the silver lining. This is our exit strategy. After we've bravely looked at that worst-case outcome, we're given the ultimate resolution. We must keep the situation in perspective by finding a silver lining. I really want you to notice the active verb again here, finding. It doesn't promise that a silver lining is just going to magically present itself to you on a silver platter. Finding is an active, deliberate search. You have to literally sift through the rubble of that worst-case scenario you just imagined and purposefully extract something of real value. This takes a super brief piece of advice and turns it into a concrete, real-time cognitive playbook you can use whenever you feel overwhelmed. It's so simple. Step 1, practice positive thinking. Step 2, consider the worst case. And step 3, find the silver lining. It's basically a 3-step operational manual for emotional stability. And the best part is you can run through the whole shebang in your mind in under a minute. By linking the worst-case scenario directly to the silver lining, we achieve a sort of synthesis that creates a much stronger, way more resilient form of positive thinking. It's what we can call battle-tested optimism. It's a mindset that has looked disaster right in the eye, calculated the absolute maximum potential damage, and still found a reason to move forward. And honestly, that is an incredibly empowering way to navigate stress.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to close out this explainer. If you take your own current stressor right now and put it through this worst-case framework, what is the silver lining you can walk away with today? I challenge you to look at whatever is bothering you right now, define the absolute worst-case outcome, and then dig in and find that one piece of silver. Keep practicing, keep your perspective, and we'll catch you next time.